Come here, and I'm going to go on your right shoulder.
You're going to come on my right shoulder?
Yeah, because I can see better.
Okay.
The beginning again, Sam.
Yeah, I'm worried about sound.
You worried about sound? Oh, sound. Okay. Do you want me to turn the music down?
He's worried about himself.
Actually, I'm going to stand next to you.
So Sam started off with some areas are level 4, some areas are level 2, some areas almost black on her hair today. So decided to tint the entirety of her hair using the new Vibrochrome 2.21, the violet black. And then I've run a panel a little bit similar to our Okafor collection. So an oblong running from the eye to just before the crown. Pre-lighting that using back-to-back slicing all the way up to the scalp using the Mask Bleach in 20 volume. And then I toned the first inch of that, 10 grams of 10.01 with 1 gram of 2.21 and 5 volume. And then I worked in slices, working from 3.51 with 5 volume, then 4.22 with 5 volume, 2.21 with 5 volume, and then 2.11 with 5 volume. So it's got a varying degree of violets and blues running all the way through that panel at the front.
How much have we got left, John?
I've got about another, I'm just cutting the top. What I'm doing basically is I've got this fantastic colour by Madeline, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to leave that colour panel as quite a heavy panel. So either side of it, I've started by taking a section from the crown to the front forehead with a triangular cutting line and basically just pivoting from that point all the way around. And I'm going to keep doing that till I get to the point where my colour kicks back in again. So that way all this just becomes this very loose, soft layer, but then I've got that kind of very weighty, strong mechanical length on the side. And then what I'll do is I'll come through and I'll use a freehanding technique to loosen the weight a little bit. So really, as you can see, I'm combing the hair once and cutting the hair once. I'm not going over and over it again because I'm in control of my tension. I'm using a strong amount of tension, and I can afford to get away with using a lot of tension because the skin is so much less flexible in the area that I'm working with now. And again, just work every single section nice and clean. Lots of tension. Comb it once and get it in. Sorry, my streak. Did I get in there? We're okay, yeah?
We are good.
Where's your accent from?
I'm from Canada.
Whereabouts? I'm going there next week.
Pardon?
I'm going there next week. Whereabouts in Canada are you from?
Alberta, Edmonton.
Oh, really?
You think it's crazy for me to think that I can invite you guys, some of you guys, to come up to
Living
Europe?
here or are you? When did you move?
Is that crazy?
You don't know. You don't ask, you don't know.
I'm just here for the
Sorry, what?
Sunday. I'm with Pauline and
Okay.
So write that down.
Yeah.
Done with, yeah?
Oh, I get it. Sorry. I was on 4:45.
John, explain what you're doing.
So now I'm using a technique called pointing, and in effect what I'm doing is I'm softening the hair through, so I'm thinning it out. And the key to doing this basically is obviously you need to control how deep you're going and the angle of your blade, because if you don't control how deep you're going and the angle of the blade, then obviously you risk removing too much weight, and you also risk pointing into the scalp. So my blade's always going up. My blade's basically going up, and I'm only cutting with this blade. So my thumb's the only thing that's moving. So there's no chance of me cutting her as long as my blade is running along the scalp, not towards the scalp. Yeah. And it's basically like a thinning technique. It just thins her hair out, as you can see.
What's the name again?
It's a pointing technique. I haven't actually named it anything. It's just it's a form of pointing. I'd call it a form of pointing. So you need to make sure that the hair is going in the direction that it wants to go. Once it's going in the direction that he wants to go, you just go in the opposite direction like this.
It's almost like surface pointing.
Yeah, but you need to be in control. That way you don't over thin the hair out. And you don't stab the person in the head, obviously, when you're doing it. Which is always a risk. Do you know what I mean, Sam? So comb the hair to the natural form. That's the key. And then your blade has to, so if this hair's going that way, that hair's going that way, that hair's going that way, you need to go like that, then like that, then like that. So you need to physically move, otherwise if you go like that and you just keep it there, you're just going to get a big hole in the shape. Yeah? And then and this basically takes out loads of weight.
Can I ask something?
Oh, please.
The blade that's, underneath in the head, like, is it touching her scalp?
Yeah.
Like, so
basically,
you feel control, or
if I
how
show-
do you do it?
I'll slide down, come closer, you can have a look, okay? So basically what you do is this, okay? You go in, so you go in, and then you rest your blade on the scalp,
Right,
so you go in like that, yeah? So your blade basically does that, can you see that?
It's following the head.
Yeah, it does that. And then once it's there, you then close your blade. Yeah, not like what I just did though. So then you get a big hole, so you've got to be careful. You've got a nice little hole
when you
now.
do it looks like too magic, actually.
The key is you've got to really almost kind of be mindful of where the scalp is. You really need to understand
You're
where the
quite
scalp
parallel
is.
with
Yeah,
the hair
always
strands.
parallel with the hair strand. Yeah, and it just thins it out. Yeah. It's basically like it's a bit like weave cutting, but you're being a bit more selective. And after, when I style it, because it's got loads of little short bits in it, I'll be able to get a nice texture out of it, and it won't be too heavy, you know. So obviously, when you move the hair around, you can see different things. You should only ever do this once you've got your mechanical shaping. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing this to hide technique. You should be doing it to complement your technique. Yeah. So I'll show you again one more time. Comb the hair with the way you want it to go, and then what you could do is you do this. Okay. You start from here and you work across. Then you go forward an inch and work across. Then you go forward an inch and work across like that. So you're still getting it even, but you're working through almost like in columns like that. Yeah? So again, start here. And then you go down an inch. And then go back through. And then you go down an inch. And then what should happen when I comb it through, I should get loads of different lengths from everywhere. And all that's going to do is put loads of little short hairs in there. So when I move it around, it'll become nice and light. Can you see? Now that I start to move it, when I start to get my fingers inside, the air is just very airy. It doesn't feel like the solid shape anymore. Yeah? It's a really nice technique for loosening the hair. But it's really important that you understand the angle of the blade as it goes in the hair.
Would you use it on longer hair?
You can do it on longer hair. I tend to use it only on shorter hair, but you can do. And obviously this is a technique called slicing, and you're only using the knuckle of the blade to open and close like that. Okay, so almost done. One more time, I just want to get it nice and loose. So when you run your fingers through it, what you're feeling for is an even amount of distribution. You're feeling to see if it feels lumpy or clumpy, yeah? And for example, now when I'm feeling it, this side feels clumpy, I haven't got nothing to this side. So I just need to basically continue that technique until I'm happy with the density. So when I run my fingers through it after, I need it to feel the same. And if I just want to soften the ends, I'm just going to go through and point into all my cutting lines. So now I'm using a pointing technique, and the idea behind the pointing technique is to be consistent. So that's obviously my long bit from my panel that I've missed out. So when you're pointing, you should count as well. When you point, count as well, yeah? Because every section, if you point 5 each section, you're going to be a consistent amount of distribution that you're taking out. Whereas if you point 4, then 5, then 7, it's constantly going to be uneven. So in that little zone there, I'm pointing 4 times, yeah? That last one. So I need to go through the whole shape now and point 4 consecutively through my shape. And if you want to create some more volume in the hair, you can do this.
That's my
If you do this consecutively the whole way through, you just loosen up, and I want the top to feel quite textured. I don't want it to feel too mechanical in the top, and obviously because I cut a really clean technique, it can often look like a hat when the hair is this dense. So by doing this technique, it just loosens it up.
Did you put the basic shape in wet or dry on the top?
Basic shape where?
On top?
Yeah, everywhere. Blow dry and then refine. But I want it to feel quite, when I style it later on, I want it to feel a little bit editorial. I don't want it to feel too dense and too strong. Can I get the irons plugged in for me? Would you mind plugging the irons in for me?
What product did you use, John?
I just used a bit of oil, which is from the Davernus range. It's a beautiful oil. It's not too heavy, It doesn't have a lot of silicone in it. In fact, I don't think it's got any silicone in it, so that's the beauty of it. It doesn't feel too weighty. And as you move the hair around, you can distribute the product really well. And the hair will always look different as you move it around because it's not too heavy looking. There you go.
Do you always use product before you iron?
Yeah, always, because I want to basically make sure that I've got an even distribution of products. So when I style it, it looks really cool. I don't want it to feel too solid. Getting there. Is it on? No.
Change the flow.
You want any hairspray? I'm using the stronghold hairspray. Using the stronghold hairspray from Davina's to style the hair.
You're gonna iron the whole thing?
No, this is just the front area on the face. Thanks, Sammy. It's okay, it's working, don't worry. Great night, Sammy.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Great energy.
There's no one downstairs though.
Isn't there?
No, I'm joking.
Don't do that to me. How many people would you say here?
In this room?
Yeah,
Or the
in
whole
the building,
thing?
yeah.
How many people? 300? 300?
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh yeah, hello everybody, whoever's come on live. What I'll do is I'll just finish ironing this top. I don't know if you can hear me. And then what I'll do is I'll talk you through what I did, how I did it, how I cut this haircut step by step, okay? If you've got any questions you want to ask me, feel free to write a little comment and I'll try and answer it as best as I can. Obviously this haircut's a bit more creative than the one I was doing the other day on the Hairbrain Live. This one's slightly more of a creative look. This one I'd say is a bit more of slightly more of an aggressive feeling to it, but it still has an element of fluidity because of the length through the top. Già costa il nome. Get me the black the Angela Seminara hairspray. One love. One love. What I like about this is your hair is hairspray, and what I like about it is as you put it into the hair, it's quite soft, so it's quite pliable. So after you put it in, you can still manipulate the hair and move it around, brush it out. You can have a really solid look, or you can have it very loose. But it makes the hair feel a bit dirtier. So I get it really messy, almost a bit silly looking. And then once it looks a bit bumpers, I'll brush it through and the hair will become a little bit more gooey. So when I'm dressing, I'll be able to move it. Kind of brush. Rub it in the front and back of my hands, and then just dress the hair straight. And because of all the build up of product, however I dress it is how it's going to look. When the hair is so clean, it doesn't sit nice. It will look a little bit flat and a bit out, lifeless. Now by doing this, I'll just get a really amazing shine because the heat will activate the product and I'll get a really nice sheen from the hair. Okay, let me get rid of that. Yeah, thank you. Good. Okay, so, let me tell you that, is that Facebook Live? Let me tell you about that. Okay, right. So, we started the haircut from here. We took basically vertical sections with a round cutting line, and the idea was to create this kind of stacked staircase effect. Head down for me, Sam. Head down for me. So with the clipper, we basically put this kind of staggered line in. And then what we've done is we've scissor over comb that just to flatten the silhouette. So from the front, head up for me, Sam. Look at the camera. Gets a nice flat silhouette. And then obviously she's got the length of the fringe in the front, which she can wrap around. So if she wants to wrap it around, just basically pulls it around and it looks like a little regular kind of little graduated simple number. And the other side, again round cutting line, working on the base, and I've just basically put a little cheeky little panel inside there. And what I was saying before is, if you want to see good technique, can you see underneath the comb, that line's really important. It's slightly different because I've been pointing into it quite a bit, but that line, the cleaner that line is, the cleaner your mechanics are. So if I do it maybe here where I haven't been pointing as much, if I do that, you'll be able to see. So the inside shape away from the bend in the head. Because obviously through here, with this area here, the scalp indents, so that changes the way the line works. So you can only really see that on the flatter part of the head. Head down, babe. Now just carved in some really cool, cheeky little outlines in the back. I hope you like it, guys.
Actually, amazing.
You like it?
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. I like it when it's a bit sit down.
Absolutely fantastic.
I like it when you get your hands in there and move it around. Like it? Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some of the videos on so people can watch some of the videos while they have a drink, okay? We say thank you to Sam, guys, for letting us cut